Welcome to episode 502 of the Red Dirt Agronomy Podcast. I am Dave Deacon, and we got a great episode for you. There are so many crops grown in our great state, but the most acres are still planted to hard red winter wheat. In fact, there were almost 3 million acres harvested in the state just last year, bringing the value of the 2024 wheat crop to $606 million, according to the USDA's National Ag Statistics Service. This week, we're talking with Tom Cannon, an Oklahoma wheat producer from Kay County and a new Oklahoma Wheat Commission board member. He's bringing another producer's perspective on how wheat checkoff dollars are put to work. Tom breaks down how the commission supports research, export markets, and ag education, plus why wheat remains a cornerstone crop for soil health and rural Oklahoma communities. We'll kick off our conversation with Tom in just a few minutes, but first, just a reminder, you will be able to find all of the information we talk about on this episode and past episodes on our website, reddirtagronomy.com. Now, this week we are flying solo whenever it comes to doctors of dirt and everything that grows from them. So let me introduce my friend, Oklahoma State University Extension Precision Nutrient Management Specialist.
I like the suck-up moment there. It's usually the greatest wheat breeder, but Tom threw in agronomy. It's like, that's a new one.
Dr. Brian Arnell. Let's kick off our conversation with Tom that we recorded on January 10th, 2026, while we were set up in the Oklahoma Wheat Commission's booth at the KNID AgriFest. We do appreciate the support for the Red Dirt Agronomy Podcast from the Oklahoma Wheat Commission and all that they do for wheat growers across our great state. Now on to the episode. You are listening to the Red Dirt Agronomy Podcast. Here we are again at the 26 AgriFest here in Enid. The Enid Farm Show has kind of become a regular thing for the Red Dirt Agronomy Podcast.
Right.
Thanks to the fine folks at the Oklahoma Wheat Commission. They've been so kind to give us booth space, and this has worked out really well because we get. Oh gosh, I think we're on episode 8.
Episode
so far
8
recorded.
And cinnamon roll 25 for me, and bread.
I'm on piece number 2.
Piece number 2 of the bread.
Yeah.
Bread just released today, so I have not yet.
And what was it? Did you Tom
Cannon is here, board member of the Oklahoma Wheat Commission. Nice introduction.
Thank you.
What was it, you, Tom, or was it Mike that told me that you had 1,800 cinnamon rolls yesterday?
Plus, and we'll do that each day. Start the day before, get a bunch of pans ready. We start cooking early in the morning, and then, we're feeding all day. We've had several people come through, and they say, the only reason I come here is for the cinnamon rolls.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe Enid needs to pay us.
You are bringing. Agreed. Now, how many loaves of bread do you guys go through? Do you know?
Oh, I have no idea. We're cooking them nonstop.
I was about to say.
And what's amazing, one of the cool things is that we cook it all right here on site.
Yes.
With our own oven, and that little oven cranks. It's nonstop. It's just
it is
going.
Not an easy bake oven. It is a full-blown commercial.
That's right.
Yeah. And it's our advantage point here, because we get the people as they come in from the arena out there. It's hilarious because that gentleman in the camo right now, that's about where people smell it.
Yep, they catch that.
They go, there's
wow.
bread, there's cinnamon rolls.
I know.
And then they walk around the corner. We had a couple turn to the right, and then they kind of follow their nose and turn around and go back to the left where they
you
should
see
have gone.
that sometimes.
Yeah, but Tom, this is the second time we've had you on the podcast. The first time was actually our second episode.
Ever.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was that episode. That's right. The mental health episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm still a little bit mental, so it worked.
I think we all are.
Yeah.
It's gone a long ways, and I really appreciate it. And we were talking about this yesterday at the Wheat Commission meeting. I'm glad to have you there. That was awesome. Appreciate you coming. But we were talking about that and how mental health awareness has changed so much since then.
Yes.
It's become, front and center. It's not quite so taboo as it once was. And people are able to talk out some of their, hurts and habits and stuff better now. So it's really, really amazing. I appreciate you doing that. You were cutting edge. You were out on the front line.
Well, there's an undue stigma to that, and that's something that I mean, it's okay to talk, and I think that's the thing that ag producers, but just folks in general need to know that it's okay to talk about it, and I'm glad that people are coming around to the awareness of mental health issues.
I still get some calls, and my line's always open.
Yeah,
for people to call if they have something they need to talk about.
Right.
Or, because things have changed a lot. We've lost a couple bucks a bushel in wheat since then.
Right.
So yields were great last year,
Yes.
but when the price is this low, it's still tough, really, really tough,
Yeah.
even with good yields.
Yeah. And since that time we had you on, you've transitioned from as a Oklahoma wheat producer to actually being a Oklahoma Wheat Commission board member.
Yes, I have.
Talk about that journey.
It's a great group of people.
Yeah,
I am so amazed. I was at a Farm Bureau meeting here a while back, probably 4 months ago, right after I became a commissioner. So I'm green as they come.
Right.
So some of your questions I might say, I don't know. Ask Mike. So I'm pretty new to this. But I was at that Farm Bureau meeting, and I heard a guy saying, man, oh man, what do they do? What does the commission even do besides, make good bread at Enid and cinnamon rolls? And I was sitting there thinking, he didn't know. This guy, I've known him a long time. He didn't know I was on the commission.
Yeah.
So I looked at him. I said, well, what do you think we should do? What is
That's
your
a good
opinion?
response. I like
what's
that,
something
Tom.
that we should do? And he looked at me. I said, I said we.
Yeah.
Because I'm now on it, and I love having this feedback. I really appreciate it. And all of the board members want to hear feedback from producers, because that money that we're spending is theirs.
Right.
And it's really important that we use it to promote wheat.
Yes.
Not just promote wheat locally like we do here at Enid, but worldwide.
Yeah.
And that's what the Wheat Commission is really focused on. We want to improve the type of wheat that we grow.
Right.
In other words, the quality credentials of the wheat.
Yeah.
Mostly through Oklahoma State, because we have the greatest, agronomy team.
Oh, yeah.
And wheat breeder in the world.
Yeah.
So we love having that. So we're going to
I like
promote
the suck
there.
up moment there. It's usually the greatest wheat breeder, but Tom threw in agronomy.
So-
It's like,
so-
that's
Well,
a
I
new
had
one.
to. Look who's sitting next to me.
I'm going to say I used to have to stop that, but Brian stopped me from stopping that. He's like, no, let him talk.
Let him go.
Keep going.
But it really is. It really is amazing what this Wheat Commission does.
Yeah.
And I didn't know a lot about it before I joined and became involved.
Yeah.
And now I realize just what an incredible group
Yeah.
that they are.
So
they really are.
What drew you into being involved if you didn't really know in the first place? What was that moment you're like, maybe I do this?
My friendship with Don Schieber
Yes.
is how it started.
Great guy.
Great guy, neighbor. He reffed some of my football games back when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And so I've known him a long, long time. And he cleaned wheat for us for many years.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a business relationship and just a friendship. And I just started kind of helping out around it because I like being around Don. He's fun. And then he asked me here not too long ago, he said, would you be interested in, being on the Wheat Commission, because it's probably time for me to step down. And man, what a large role to fill.
Yeah.
And he's got some big steps he's taken throughout the world, really, in wheat production and in wheat promotion.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to do it.
In earlier podcasts, because I do think this kind of goes in line with some of the stuff we've had, whether it was with Kent or Jeff Hickman talking about, stepping up leadership. What were the questions you had for Don when he first brought it up? Because I'm assuming you had questions, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And what was some of the mentoring he gave you? I'm kind of this process of leadership.
What am I going to do?
Yeah.
You know, yes, I feel called. I know that I need to step up and be a spokesperson for ag, and I've been doing that some through regenerative ag and no-till practices and stuff for 25 years. But I just thought, how can I have a bigger impact? And I said, what impact does the Wheat Commission have? And he just started telling me some of the numbers. There's a lot of money that is used and allocated to different parts of wheat production. And I realized, and always have realized, how important wheat is for Oklahoma.
Right.
It's such a huge crop, and it's a huge crop for me in my rotation.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many advantages to having wheat in that rotation.
Yes.
That so there was a number of reasons. The dollars that went into it were important, but also just the promotion of a good, healthy food source, because it really is. It really is.
And so I kind of want to go back in the conversation, if that's okay. When you were at the Farm Bureau meeting and the guy asked, what did they do? And you asked, what do you think we should do? What was some of the things that, or did you ever even get to it? Did he have any comments?
Complaints. This is normal.
Yeah.
This is
I'm at the university. I understand this.
Yeah, complaints come with no solutions.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is a lot of times.
Yeah.
And so what was sad was I didn't have the ability to tell him at that time what all they did do.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know. And their impact globally and locally both are equally important, and they're both big.
Yes.
It's a huge impact. And really, really efficient use of funds. And I want farmers to understand that these funds that are coming in into the Wheat Commission are allocated with a lot of thought, even prayer, and they're used wisely. They're wisely used funds.
Yeah. And I think one thing that's very important with this is it's a board decision. It's not one guy saying, hey, we need to spend this amount of money in the research. It is well thought out.
We don't always agree.
Right. Yeah.
Imagine that.
I didn't mean to laugh at that.
Think about that. You're gonna put
the board.
You're gonna put a bunch of farmers together,
right,
from all over the state.
And you think about you farmers that are listening now. Do you all ever agree around a coffee table in the morning?
Right.
No, you don't.
Then throw somebody from Altus and Ponca and Weatherford
all over the state.
Handle. Yeah.
Right. But what's good is the integrity of each one of these people is really, really sound. Yes. So everybody we have the same goal. We're all on the same team. Our ultimate goal is to promote wheat and wheat production. So with that kind of effort and with everybody having pure intentions, it works out. It really does.
One thing that you mentioned there that I've always been fascinated by is the promotion side of it, and the amount of travel that the commissioners are committed to. Because I mean, we go back to Don. Don's been several times to Asia, different parts of Asia. He's been to Russia, building those relationships with the end users, the buyers of wheat, because people think, oh, okay, well, the Oklahoma wheat, whenever it's harvested, goes down to the co-op. Yes, that's where it starts, but then half of it, I assume it's half of it.
Yeah, it's 50% of our production is exported.
Yeah, it goes by rail. It goes by different ways to the Gulf, and then it's a gateway to the world.
So our markets are down, right? So this same guy at Farm Bureau said, well, y'all must not be doing your job because the markets are low. And my response to him was, what would they be without the impact of our export trade? Yeah. Which is what we specialize in. You know, that's that and improving the varieties that we have here. Those are the two things. But we really, really push export because that we know that so much of our wheat goes there. Yeah. So what would the market be without that? Right. Oh, it'd be unmovable. You would have wheat that might be like hogs were at one time where you couldn't give it away. Yeah. It would be really, really tough. So
one thing I've really enjoyed, I've been to a few of the board meetings, and I've really enjoyed the conversation that goes on from a producer standpoint, because all of the commissioners produce wheat, obviously, but they have their perspective, but then they also have their neighbor's perspective, and they can ask the question of the university, how are we working towards this goal? How are we looking at weed pressure? How can we support your research into that? How can we support your research into creating a better wheat plant that's going to help us produce a better plant out in the field? And I think that's so important that the commission is active in that with not only the university but other entities as far as creating a better plant for the wheat grower to do their job.
Yeah, that's true. And the Wheat Commission has funded research into a lot of different things, but some of your research that you've done on nitrogen rates.
Yeah.
And then using nitrogen at the right timing so that you can increase protein.
Yeah.
And then Dr. Carver right now is working on fiber-enriched weeds. We can increase fiber.
Right.
I've never seen a time when that's more important, especially since we've had this whole stir-up in human health that our federal government is pushing right now.
Right.
And I don't mind it. I appreciate that they kept the importance of whole grain and fiber. Even though they've kind of flip-flopped the pyramid, they still have acknowledged how important it is.
Yeah.
And I think that if we can do a even better job with increased fiber amounts in some of these new varieties that are coming out, they'll want us to be eating even more of it because it really is a healthy food source.
Yeah.
So as you've gained your time on the commission, what has been one of the biggest learning moments? What's something is like, I had no clue, or is there a wow moment, a few wow moments that have come through?
The main wow moment that hit me was just the amount of money that comes through. And the second wow moment was the amount of money that is then refunded back to people wanting it back. And I think that that's our failure to educate. And we need to let the producers know just how important it is for them to give such a small amount of the total amount. It's just a little bit, but those funds are so important to research, so important to our export trade. And it's not giving very much back. It's just a little bit. But there is quite a few people that are still asking for their money back.
Can you
that
talk
surprises
briefly about how much it is and how that's collected?
It's collected back usually through the co-ops. The co-ops, if somebody says they don't want to put it into that, then they'll send it in and then they'll ask for a refund. And then we send it back. That's how that works. And it's a small percentage. 6-8%, something like that is probably refunded. So it's not that much, but it was still much more than I would have thought. My parents were really heavily into helping pass the Beef Commission's checkoff way back when. My dad was president of the Oklahoma Cattlemen's at the time. My mom was president of the Oklahoma Cowbells, future to be called Oklahoma Cattle Women.
Yeah.
And I can remember as a little kid seeing our office turn into a almost like a political office where we were trying to get that passed.
Yeah.
So it's been in our history to really be in favor of the producers giving some money back to help with the promotion. Otherwise, who's going to? We're not like a large corporate where we can go out and have all these marketing funds, right?
Yeah.
So we need to be able to say, all right, I know I'm not a good marketer myself.
Right.
And all these producers, none of us really are. That's not what we want to do. We want to grow stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if we're not going to be marketing, somebody needs to do that for us, and that's really what the commissions are for, is to help be the marketing arm of your production.
So, wheat acres fluctuate from year to year, and there's always a need for those acres to grow. Obviously, we want them to stabilize and to grow in Oklahoma. As a Oklahoma wheat producer, what did you think? Hey, maybe these are some things that we could do to help grow it. And now that you're on the board, how have you been able to? I understand you're just a few months into it, but how have you been able to take that vision to the board and say these are some things that we need to maybe look at growing acres in Oklahoma?
A lot of it has to do with just how important wheat is. We're just coming out of a 3-year drought over most of the state.
Yeah.
And we went into that 3-year drought with the diversity having grown crazy.
Yeah.
Amazing amounts of diversity. There was corn being grown dry land all the way out in the Panhandle.
Wow.
There was a lot of that things because we'd gone through kind of a lush time leading up to like 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
We had some really wet years. And I think that now we're seeing just how important wheat is.
Yeah.
You see some of these fields that were in soybeans 2 or 3 years in a row, and then they start blowing like they did.
Yeah.
And you realize, man, there's something wrong with that rotation. No-till has been very, very important. K County is probably 60-70% no-till now.
Oh, yeah.
And back 25 years ago when we started, there wasn't any.
Right.
There really wasn't. But in that, no-till, we learned, is not a good system by itself.
Yeah, yeah.
you've got to know how to manage to a deeper level, and you have to be able to manage with wheat still as your primary, I think, your foundational crop, because the residue is so important.
Yep.
And its ability to scavenge nutrients, bring them back up, recycle them, put them back into the next crop, and do that in a fairly consistent, reliable way, but slowly over time. And it's really, really important for people, especially people that are no-tilling and wanting to diversify.
Yeah.
If we go back into a wet pattern, we had a really wet year this year. It was a great year, amazing yields and summer crop stuff. But, man, we can't get away from our most important crop.
Yeah, the carbon that wheat puts back in, both through the root structure, the way it has a fibrous wheat has a really shallow fibrous root. It does a great job of holding that surface soil structure together, but just in the carbon above. And it's a slowly degradable carbon that has both capabilities to stop erosion, but more importantly for Oklahoma, it has the capability to slow evaporation and help hold that soil moisture in place. And if we leave some residue, if we're running stripper headers, or at least cutting the wheat taller, then we have so much blockage and so much capability to capture rain better, capture snow better, and just get better infiltration. So wheat's always, I hate seeing, one of the tougher rotations is like a cotton and soy. Both of those crops leave so little residue. Both have great value. Soy is a legume, so it can add the nitrogen, and cotton is actually a great scavenger of depth, and you can really get down. But the following with that, there's just no carbon left on the surface, which just leaves it susceptible to everything else. And the best no-tiller can still blow in a dry time.
Cotton is a huge crop, especially in the southwest, western Oklahoma. And it's moved up into our area. We do a lot of cotton now.
Yeah.
There is no better crop following wheat, I don't think, than cotton.
Right.
And I don't think there's a better crop following cotton than wheat.
Yeah.
Those two really complement each other.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. So if you're bringing cotton in, you've got to have wheat. You just have to.
So since Brian's here, talk about how that balances out from a nutrient standpoint, because I know cotton it can really tax the soil, but then wheat.
The cotton taxing the soil, I think, is a little bit
a misnomer
to a degree.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's the management with, and even potentially the areas of, and how we manage a cotton crop and how much moisture. It really taxes what you see. It taxes is when I strip that cotton plant, or I pick whatever you want, and it's off. I have a mini tree. And that's all I have left.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
The leaves are in the bar ditch. They're no longer on the field. I don't care how good a no-tiller you are, most of the leaves are gone. So you're left with a stick that you typically have to brush hog or something, or chop it down for some people.
We plant directly into it.
And the wheat stuff, they'll plant
a funny story real quick.
Yeah.
I asked a guy one time, I said, why do you brush hog? Why are you cutting up your stalks? And maybe this podcast, maybe somebody will call me and enlighten me. But I guess it used to have to do with the boll weevil eradication program, so they had to.
Yeah.
And I said, well, do you still have to do that? I don't know. I said, well, why do you do it?
Because my grandpa did.
Because my grandpa did. And I said, well, if I do that, then, being a no-tiller, I'm going to poke holes in all my tires and stuff.
Yeah.
So we just plant directly through it.
Yeah.
And then what we have is the most beautiful wheat crop underneath it, and we still have the trees.
Yep.
They still look the same. They bounce back up. They look the same. And then if we get any rain at all, we're going to have the wheat heads just above that whenever we go harvest it.
Yeah.
And then when we harvest it, we don't ever have to worry about those stalks again.
I think the bigger problem is when we get into non-wheat. That's why wheat following is so good, because that wheat crop is able to come over. It's usually over the top of that cotton.
Yeah.
I see problems, and we've had to, because of things we have to do. If we plant soybean behind cotton, it makes it really hard to bring that soybean in, because that
you get all these sticks in with it.
Sticks in, and it likes to pull the root out because it's just so. So that's the only reason. And
if it was big cotton, you're going to have some solid stalks. You're going to break sickles.
Yeah.
So it's a pain.
But yeah, if you can cut, or if you got a stripper header, you can cut high. It's beautiful on that. But the cotton, you just go with a high carbon. You can go after it, stabilizes the soil, and you really, after the cotton is out, you could plant wheat in that. You're a little bit later, so you're still getting a lot of sunshine in, and you're cooling off, so that it's going to get quicker. If you had a heavy residue, the wheat's actually a little slower getting out of the ground in October.
Yeah, I can plant wheat 3 weeks later in cotton and have a earlier harvest.
Yeah.
Really?
Than I can with let's say milo.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Milo tends to slow it down,
Yeah.
and it's colder soils in the fall, and it's just slower all year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It really is. So it, and then we have Butler's Gold.
Yep.
So we can
That
go
way out.
later with that. It was my number one yielding wheat last year. We had 70 to 80 bushel wheat last year.
Wow.
Following cotton.
Yeah.
We planted
Wow.
after
Yeah.
cotton, and it was Butler's Gold. It was amazing.
So
Yeah.
what kind of management did you have to do? Did you have to adjust your management with that, or?
Well, we just make sure that the drill's ready to roll, so that
Yeah.
it's following the pickers around. It's got to be out there just about same day.
Yeah.
Similar to how we do double crop soybeans. We're going to have the drill ready to roll.
Right.
Following wheat. So when we're harvesting wheat, I want the air drill running, or planter running same day,
Yeah.
same field, and it's traffic jam, but it's so much fun.
And of course, if the cotton bale didn't roll out of the back of the cotton picker,
Yeah.
then you could just put this.
Yeah.
We
seed
have
right
a
on the back.
really, really good system for that, and I didn't design it. It's the gin. But the gin, that's part of our deal. If they want my cotton, they got to have somebody stacking
Oh,
the day that it's being picked,
that's smart.
so that we can run
Yep.
within a couple days.
Yep.
And then the trucks, they also have an amazing deal on the trucking. But they'll have all the trucks lined up, and they can get a field out within 24 hours.
You're kidding.
No.
Wow.
I'm not going to promote the gin
Right.
on here, but it's, if you find the right place with modern equipment and they want your cotton,
That's
they're
true.
going to do it.
Yeah.
They're going to do it.
And it keeps that living system. Tom's big on the regenerative ag, and it keeps that system going. As long as you got the moisture to get everything in the ground and get it up, it keeps something actively out there in the benefit of the system.
True. That's true. And we don't only use wheat behind cotton. We have drones, and we're able to go out and broadcast seed. So a lot of times they're at the last flowering at the end.
Yeah.
We'll be broadcasting seed, and 3 weeks to a month after the cotton picking, we'll be turning cattle out.
That's awesome.
Because it'll be growing in there.
I mean, I got to let him promote his son. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what your son's doing?
Well, we do have a drone business now, and my son-in-law kind of helped develop and get it started, and then my son here actually helps in it a lot also. So we've got a drone posse is what it's called. We've got a drone business started up, and we've got another drone guy in our area that has 2 drones of his own. We're going to co-op with him, and probably another group. We're going to try to get 6 to 10 drones all in one co-op,
Wow.
and we're going to hit a lot of acres. And we're going to try to travel a little bit custom-wise, moving up into the Corn Belt during their fungicide season.
I think that business model is actually probably the most progressive and the best idea I have seen in a long time, because single independence, you can, if you're doing good, you get overwhelmed. But you come in as a co-op and you can really split your time. You could really be strategic about where machines are, where people are, and where everything's at.
One of our great people a part of this, and he doesn't even know for sure that he's being brought into this, but he's going to be. and he sells some drones a little bit, but his name is Jake Pierce. I'm going to call him out right now because I really want him to come and kind of take over this deal and kind of be the director of it.
Yeah.
Because there's so much potential. You got one guy as a director and get 5 or 6 pilots and keep them moving and keep it organized. It's a full-time job for him. And right now he has a really good job, but he does some shift work, and I'm hoping that he'll go, man, I just want to live life out on the farm somewhere.
Right. That's kind of like a dispatch, right? I mean, really,
it's
a dispatcher that helps organize and maintain and keeps everything in line.
I do love that you refer to it as a posse, because it is like round up the guys, we're going to go spray some weeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go.
So we've really talked to the producer with this. Now let's talk to the general public, the folks that drive by in March. They drive by this green grass out in the field. Everybody thinks it's a green grass. No, it's actually wheat growing. And then, a few months later, oh my gosh, where'd all that green grass grow? Now it's, tall wheat. Talk to the producer about, the general
consumer.
public about what the Oklahoma Wheat Commission does for them and also the state.
Well, one of the really neat things is we do promote and sponsor different baking events and a wheat quality event.
That's true.
And so having higher quality wheat benefits everyone.
Yeah.
And it certainly benefits the consumer. So we're doing a lot of that. We do educational programs also. We've got a bunch of coloring books that are available to schools anywhere. And we'll even send somebody to a school. We had a guy yesterday from this area here around Enid that came by, and he wants 800 coloring books.
Wow.
To do a deal where he's going to try to teach kids where's their food come from.
Yeah.
So these coloring books are a really big part of that.
Yeah.
And we've got, I think, 5,000 of them ordered or something like that. And the kids love them. So that's another thing we do.
And along the same lines, can you discuss how, so this is the downstream, wheat crop does well, the wheat producers do well, the rural community does well, and the overall community of Oklahoma does well. Can you maybe talk about that?
Yeah. I've lived that my whole life.
Yep.
And I've lived and I've seen consolidation, and I've seen how some small towns have had to move their schools somewhere else. And a lot of that had to do with just the economy of scale. I understand that. But it doesn't mean that I necessarily have to like it.
Yeah.
And if you have a better wheat production year and you have more money flowing into your community, you're right. Everybody benefits. I can remember we used to have this dealership there in Blackwell, and he could tell how good the wheat crop by how many trucks he sold. But that's just one part of it. You know, it's everybody, the grocery stores, everything benefits from that.
Yeah.
And it also benefits from, if we can get an extra $1 a bushel, it's huge on the local economy.
Oh, yeah.
So the Wheat Commission's involvement in increasing exports, which is 50% of our grain, if we can increase the price by 25 cents or 50 cents or $1 because of added exports, then sure, it absolutely helps rural America. I think without some of the efforts that are done, not just by us, but also Soybean Board and other groups and the Beef Commission, and our ability to promote our products has really helped save a lot of small communities. There's no doubt it has. Or at least prolong how long they're able to survive. And we're really, really wanting to do more of that. We really, really want to promote rural America.
Whenever
we live there. Every one of us live in small towns.
Oh, yeah. And everybody has a connection, even if they live in Oklahoma City. They have a friend, they have a family member that lives in Perkins, that lives in Atoka, somewhere small that they still want to be a part of their lives. And to that end, I had the opportunity to talk to Clint Wilcox when I was producing the videos, and he summed it up so great, because he talked about, there is that local impact of everybody in that small town knows a wheat producer, but there are the people that come through for harvest that boost the economy. There are the parts stores that, in a good year, I hate to say it, everything breaks. And those parts stores, it helps that side of the economy too. So wheat in one way or another, agriculture in one way or another, impacts a community so strongly. And that's why I'm so glad that there are commodity boards out there like the Oklahoma Wheat Commission that realize that and are willing to help educate city folk, for lack of a better word, about what is happening down the paved road, down the county road.
The Wheat Commission is also pretty active in helping support university, like Stillwater. It's close.
Yeah.
To me, and it's always been really, really important to our operation.
Yeah.
The Oklahoma State University started right around the same time our farm started.
Oh, really?
Very, very close to the same time.
Oh, wow.
So there's some really cool parallels to the research that's been done and the guidance that we've been able to glean from Oklahoma State University to the success of my operation.
Yeah.
And so it's very, very personal to me.
Yeah.
And I really, really do appreciate Oklahoma State University, and anything that we can do to help that is important to me, because they're out there educating. I would love to see Oklahoma State University have a across-the-board 1 credit hour for every student, arts and science students, engineering students, all students in food production.
Yeah.
Just so they can know where their food comes from, because, chocolate milk doesn't come from a brown cow.
Right. Is there anything else you want to cover? Is there anything that we need to cover about?
There is quite a bit going on. We're going to have a wheat day at the state capitol coming up here pretty quick. We don't have a date yet, but it'll be in the next couple of months. Ag Days coming up, and here in another 40 days or something like that at the Capitol. And then also the board is going to D.C. to talk to our legislators there about all different kinds of issues that are relevant to rural Oklahoma and rural ag nationwide.
Well, and to that point, it's the great thing about our government is that there are always new folks coming in and bringing new perspectives and everything. But kind of the downside for agriculture is a lot of those folks may not be aware of it, and that's part of the education process that you guys do.
Compared to our national ag statistics say that ag producers are less than 1%, or maybe 1%, something like that. There's a better amount of influence at the national level and at the state level in our governments than that.
Yeah.
They have actually a little closer ties to ag.
Right.
Not a lot, but a little bit. But you're right, the turnover's pretty quick.
Yeah.
And they probably haven't had Food Production 101.
Right.
Right. And some of those people that are in the decision-making processes of Washington, D.C., might think that chocolate milk comes from Nebraska.
Right.
So it's important that we spend time there encouraging them and making decisions that are beneficial for rural America. It's really important.
Anything else? Well, Tom, thank you so much for coming on with us again, and this time telling us more about what the Oklahoma Wheat Commission does.
Yep,
right.
You
Thanks,
bet.
Tom.
Anytime.
Thank you for listening in on this conversation of the Red Dirt Agronomy Podcast. If you'd like to join the next discussion, send us a message on our website. We have a spot right there on reddirtagronomy.com, or you can send us a tweet. Our handle is reddirtag. We'd like to thank Tom Cannon for joining us this week on the podcast. And again, if you get a chance, visit our website, reddirtagronomy.com, to find out more information about our guests and any of the resources we discussed today on the podcast. For Dr. Brian Arnell, I am Dave Deacon, and we both want to thank you for listening. The proceeding is a copyrighted recording of Ag Now Media, LLC, 2026. And yes, all rights are reserved.